I was sitting here, y'all thought I was recording, wasn't recording, not one thing, just talking. But anyway, what I was saying was, let me get some hand cream. We're coming upon the season to be jolly. And I know I look all disheveled and everything, and it's kind of cool, so I put on a long sleeve shirt. And women, if you have long arms like me and it's hard to find long sleeve, go to the men's department. They got all beautiful colors and plaids and stuff. Now, this is a little big, but my intention was to alter it, but I didn't. I wear it like with leggings and stuff. But anyway, I'm getting off course, y'all. Y'all say it's easy for me to do. But what I was saying, we're coming upon the time. 'Tis the season to be jolly. And this is, I'm going to show you this. This is what my dermatologist had told me to use on my hands. I know it's hard to see because of the glare, but it's Neutrogena Norwegian Formula Hand Cream. Glycerin rich, fragrance free. So that's what I use. But anyway, we're coming upon the season to be jolly. You might say, I don't have anything to be jolly about. Yes, you do. Didn't the Lord wake you up this morning? Ha ha ha, jolly. Let me tell you something. Life is a precious commodity. Health and strength is a precious commodity. If you don't have your health and strength, you can have all the money in the world. You can't buy your health. And you can go and get all fancy doctors. Somebody said, I know a doctor over here in Italy, or I know a doctor over here in Greece or Switzerland, or even somewhere like New York, California. Oh, they got this new treatment for what ails you in Los Angeles. And then if you got the money, you buy a ticket and take somebody with you, and you go to Los Angeles or New York or wherever the case may be, and you see the doctor. And if the Lord don't bless you to come out of it, you can get all the fancy doctors with all these degrees and everything and all them letters behind their name, and a doctor this and a DD this and a doctor of this and a doctor of that. But there's no doctor like Dr. Jesus. He didn't go to any fancy college. He had a mother. He was born lying in a manger, in a trough for the animals, y'all. Yeah. But did he let that rob him of anything? No. And so if you got your health and strength and your brain is working, like when God formed you in your mother's womb, and there's a way he want our brain to work, the way it got to work for us to do what we need to do to have the activities of our limbs to speak. Some of us, might not speak as fluently as others. Some of us had the gift of gab. Some of us do lots of things. But the main thing you can do is call on Jesus in your time of need. And don't just call on him in your time of need. Because you know what somebody said, do you need Jesus to go to Walmart? Yeah, I do need Jesus to go to Walmart. You been in Walmart lately? You need Jesus and his disciples and everybody else to get you out of Walmart. Because they'll have one cashier open and self-checkout be congested. So yeah. But you need Jesus for every bit of your day. Every bit of your life. Don't let no devil come in and rob you of your peace. Don't let the devil live rent-free in your head. Get up. Do something. So Lord, wake up in the morning and say, Lord, what should you have me to do today? Now, there's a lot of things we can do. There's a lot of things we can't do. But you know what? I don't dwell on what I can't do. 'Cause I told somebody the other day, when somebody tell me I can't do something, I do it twice. And there have been things I wanted to try, make a bucket list and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? I thank God for waking me up this morning, giving me activity of my limbs, started me on my way. I don't have no fancy cars out there in the yard, but I thank Him for the hoopty that I got. I don't have no whole lot of money stored up in the bank, but what little bit I got, 'cause y'all know what they doing to Social Security ain't right. They don't give us enough, but I thank God for what I get. I try to make the most of it. I, I don't have no big fancy mansion like all these stars like Halle Berry and all these people, all these singers and stuff. I don't have that stuff, and I don't desire that. But what the Lord had blessed my husband and I with when we raised our children here in this house. LaShawn Pace made a song, said, "There's a leak in this old building, and my soul has got to move. And my soul has got to move. There's a leak in this old building." You know what? We had a leak, and my husband, our house is real tall. It's an older home, 2 stories. So on the level that he can get on, he went up there, and that was too tall. We got somebody to go and do it. I said, you know what? One day the Lord can bless us. Because our house have a tin top. And I heard people say, oh, to go to sleep when it's raining on a tin top. Yes, y'all. Talking about some good sleep? Yes. So I'm just believing God that there's going to be something coming along where we can get a new roof on our house. And if we don't get, usually this time of year we'll get somebody to go up there and make sure. We had the chimneys capped off because the squirrels was going in and everything. They were having a good time. So I want to find some electric logs to put in our fireplace because I think our house has 8 or 9 fireplaces. All the rooms have a fireplace, y'all. All but the bathrooms. We got 5 bedrooms, so that's 5 fireplaces right there. Then 1 in the kitchen and 1 in the living room. That is what? I think it's 7 or 8 fireplaces, yeah. And the dining room. So 5 bedroom, kitchen, dining room, and living room. 8 fireplaces in the house. The only ones we have open is the one in the living room is open, the one in the dining room is open, and the one in our bedroom is open. But like I said, they capped them off to keep the squirrels off. So I'm going to get me, for in our bedroom, I bought one of those little heaters and sat in front of the fireplace. So when I want the ambience of a fireplace, I just turn on the flame. See? I thank God for giving me the brain to be a problem solver. Yeah. I remember my husband had to write a letter to a company. I think his insurance company or the DMV or somebody. And I wrote this letter. And when they wrote my husband back and was telling him, whatever he wrote the letter for, whatever he needed in that letter, they did it. But they also told my husband that how they felt about the letter that I wrote. How it was written on point, and they were, I guess they were saying that how nice the letter was, okay? How I worded it, how I put it together and everything. And my husband read the letter back, because when you have to send something somewhere, make a copy. If you don't have a copy machine, go to the library. I need a copy of this, and put it somewhere where you can keep it. I make a copy of everything, y'all. But anyway, don't let the enemy live free in your head. If you need somebody to touch and agree with you, come to one of my videos. And I try to get back to, answering stuff. Sometimes some of them escape me. But say, Grandma, I need someone to touch and if you want, I'm not going to touch and agree on something that's illegal or something that's against God. I'm not going to do that. But if you want to, you need a healing and you need a touch from the Lord and say, Grandma, I need somebody to touch and agree with me. I'm going to the doctor and I'm having this problem. Please pray with me for my healing. Now, I'm not going to touch and agree with you on something that's illegal. You trying to take somebody's husband, or you trying to take somebody's wife, or you doing something against what God said we need to do something against the 10 Commandments. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, we need integrity and we need to have a standard. And we need to be about something. Because I said, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I'm not falling for anything. I wasn't born yesterday. But if you said, I'm trying to get a better car, because mine keep putting me down, please touch and agree with me that I get a, and don't just ask for a car, y'all. You can get a car that's worse than the one you're trying to replace. Lord, I need me a vehicle, something that's going to get me to where I need to go, something that's not going to be breaking down on me, and something I can't afford. Because y'all know what? I've been eyeballing the Toyota Prius. I don't know why, y'all. I had a friend who's going on to glory now. Me and her were doing eBay at the same time. We became friends and everything. She used to live, God rest her soul, in Durham, North Carolina. And she used to sell magazines and stuff. And I remember when my grandchildren needed a certain story, a certain magazine, she sent me a magazine for them to do reports on and stuff, current events when they were in school, y'all. She was the sweetest, and she died a few years ago. And we used to, when AOL had the messenger, we used to message each other and talk back and forth, girl. Y'all, we would have a good time. So, you know what? I'm believing God because I'm crazy enough to believe every word that's in His word, that's in the word. When He said that He never gonna leave us or forsake us, believe it, y'all. And you know what else? I never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. Take that to the bank. Y'all, pray for favor. Because favor is better than money in the bank. I remember when we bought some land over in another county. We bought, I think it was 10 or 16 acres. Y'all know the Lord blessed us with that land. We put a 4-bedroom mobile home on it. And in 2016, we sold that. So Lord will give you favor. But y'all, if you don't have your health and strength, you don't have nothing. So if you're going through now, I keep looking at that piece of hair, y'all, thinking something crawling on there. Let me pull it back here because it's kind of like doing something to my psyche. My daughter told me to do my hair like this, y'all. Mama, put some colorful rubber bands on it. But y'all, God is just so good. Take Him at His word. All you need is faith the size of a mustard seed. And I had some mustard seed. Let me see if I got it. Okay, y'all, this is mustard seed. Do you see how small that seed is? One of those. And they say a mustard seed is the smallest seed you can get. So I'm going to make some earrings out of these. I might be hard to see with my shirt. Maybe if I put it right there, yeah. So I got to get the other little ring up there so it could, dangle down like that. But anyway, y'all, all you need is a face the size of one of these little, this about the size, when you write a sentence and you put a period behind, this about the size of a period. See? That's all you need. We were born with everything we need: a working brain, our conscience, our mind, because all that come with the brain. If you got children that's with you, nurture their brains. Teach those children right from wrong. I used to tell, I used to teach, I used to keep, when I kept my little granddaughters, one of the main things I told them, I let them know, if anybody touch you inappropriately where they don't supposed to touch you, you tell somebody. If you don't want to tell your mother or your father, and they the ones you should tell, sometimes children are open up to like a teacher, a librarian. Now I don't know if they have a librarian anymore in schools because schools done changed so much. But better yet, go to your parent. Tell your parent, because sometimes, I've seen on these programs, if you tell that rubber band broke, got these rubber bands from Dollar Tree, they don't withstand nothing. I seen on the program, they said, if you tell somebody, I'll come back and I'll unalive your parents or your sister, your brother, and stuff like that. And that's why a lot of them might not tell parents. Well, let's teach our children how to be self-sufficient, how to survive in this mean, cruel world. Tell them that everybody don't love them like you do, so they can learn genuine love. That's what I was telling my grandchildren. Because some people got fake affection. And we don't need no fake friends, y'all. I know I don't. If you want to be my friend and you can be fake, you keep on walking. C.C. Peterson said in her song, keep on walking, I ain't talking to you anymore. Yes, go. So y'all, just tell all that stuff, bye-bye. In that song, Ty Tribbett, depression is leaving. Sickness is leaving. Say bye-bye to all that junk. So you getting up out of here. Thought I had another rubber band broke. Yeah, broke. They had broken. But you tell that stuff, you getting out of here? You're not living in my head. I'm going to put some good stuff in my head. Y'all, put some good stuff up there. Read the word, you'll get good stuff. And you'll learn to discern the spirit. Everybody, as you can see, these politicians that say they're Christian. To be a Christian is to be Christ-like. And if you take food from people, that's not, Christ will give, not take. If you take the food, some of these people got children they can't feed. They're taking their health insurance from people. A lot of people can lose their Medicare. Y'all, that's not Christ-like. But be careful how you entertain people, because they say you could be entertaining an angel unawares. And they said all of us got an angel. Okay, my angel. When you get delayed from something, you know how you get ready to leave, you say, I can't leave because of this. You remember something you got to come back in the house for, and something you got delayed from. That could be your angel keeping you from an accident up the road, or something happening and you be in the middle of it. Lord, I thank you for keeping me from all this. But anyway, y'all, I thank y'all for visiting my channel, for making this channel a go. Like I said, I know I'm sitting here. I was a little cool, so I go to the men's department and get me some shirts. But hey, it's clean. I didn't put on any earrings. I did put on a little lip gloss. I think I've had best I'm blended right into my skin. But y'all, God is still good. I don't care what you facing. God is good. If you got a bill that's due and you can't pay, don't mean God ain't good. Lord, I got this bill that's due. I need a way to pay it. And ask him. They say you have not called, you ask not. When you ask amiss. Don't ask amiss. Learn how to ask the Lord for the things you need. Forget about the things you want. Because a need, this is what you pray for. Pray for the things you need. And then for your obedience, you may end up with the things you want. I remember I kept telling my husband one time, I want to go to Kentucky. And he was like, what is in Kentucky? I said, I have no clue. And I kept saying about going to Kentucky, going to Kentucky. Knew nothing about Kentucky. I didn't even Google Kentucky. Our oldest grandson ended up going to college in Kentucky. So I went to Kentucky. Okay? And I've been telling my husband a few years ago, I want to go to those states up where it's cold, where it's colder than what North Carolina is. Because, you know, when it get real, real cold here, we're cold. It might be mild somewhere else, but we're used to mild. And then when it do get a little colder, we'll be feeling like we freeze. But I was saying, I want to go to Vermont. I seen pictures of how the flowers and stuff are so pretty in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island. I don't want to live there because I know those are some colder states. And I would love to go to Alaska. I'm going to make a bucket list. And I can check off my bucket list. Y'all leave me a comment, some things that's in your bucket list. Because one of my things is I want to go to Vermont. I think I'm going to research Vermont and see what's in there. You know, I've always loved to go to museums and, you know, my husband not so much. Just like he like to watch the things on TV, like when you watch about the Meerkat and stuff like Discovery Channel. I'll watch some up with him, but some of I just draw the line on, you know. But anyway, I don't know where all this come up and come out, but I think it's because I put my partials in, y'all, and I felt like talking. But y'all, God is good. I don't care how you slice it. When I went through what I went through when I was sick, that was to strengthen my faith. And the Lord has showed me what I was going through was not for me. It was for other people to see that He gets the glory out of everything. And I love Him for it. You know, the time that I spent in a wheelchair or using a walker or a cane, I still thank Him, y'all. I couldn't get up and go to the bathroom. My husband bought one of those chairs for invalid where you use the bathroom in and put it at the foot of the bed. Because all I could do at that time was get up and take a few steps. And then I needed help with everything. But y'all, I thank God. I thank Him for how He revived me, how He breathed new life into my lungs, how He's touching my, because what I was going through with my heart, y'all, has started to damage my kidneys. How He touched my heart, how He's healing my kidneys. And I'm believing the Lord. Y'all, please touch and agree with me for a total and complete healing of my kidneys. Right now, they took me off lisinopril because they told me that the allergist told me, well, anyway, I ain't gonna put that in there. I can't, I don't really know how to edit, y'all. But they took me off lisinopril. And they're gonna wait until the beginning of November to put me on something else. So y'all, please pray for me. Pray for my kidneys. And pray that my blood pressure stay at a point, because they took me off my blood pressure medicine because they thought it was causing a problem somewhere else. But I know God won't leave me or forsake me. I know He's still in the blessing business. So y'all, I thank God for everything, because you know He's mighty. What a mighty God we serve. What a mighty God we serve. The ruler of heaven and earth. I think my husband getting ready to come in, so I'm gonna end this. Close the door. All right, y'all. Till next one. Bye.